Hi guys,
Hello,
I am Nastasia Nama. This is Sexuality and Health Wellness, and with me is
Mr. Mano. Is it?
alright. So he is one of those people that are kind of curious, seen my videos a couple of times or more than a couple of times, and he is curious, have some questions to ask, and I'm like, why not? You can ask your questions. So let's have you. What are those questions you want to ask? Just fill all of them.
I thank, I thank you so much. I watch most of your videos and some where you make lectures about sexual or intimacy, kind of. So I have some things I'm willing to ask.
Okay.
More especially many questions, but let me just start from one place.
Okay.
About the G spot.
Right.
You made mention about the G spot. I want to know more about that.
Okay. So the G spot, just like one of those areas that once you touch, if the woman would have orgasm this way, she would do or she would orgasm this way. So it's just like a button to set everything in place, set the whole body responding to your touch, sensually and sexually. That is majorly what the G spot is, right?
This G spot is it in every woman or is every woman has that G spot thing? Like how does that work?
Okay, now the G spot, I would say is not seen in every woman. Or let me make it clearer. Every woman does not respond to the sensation or stimulation. That's the English stimulation of the G spot. Let me put it
Okay.
that way for clarity sake. Now, what do I mean? Before I go there, where is the G spot located? First off, now the G spot is about 3 to 5 centimeters into the vagina.
Okay.
Accessing the G spot is like putting your middle finger and your index finger into the vagina, and then right above the walls of the vagina, you can just access the G spot. That stimulate the
Okay.
G spot. Now, when I say stimulate, it's just like okay, it's just like when someone have been there for a while, and look, this person have not experienced anything touch, and now suddenly I just came and I tapped you. You're gonna feel like, ow, why did you hit me? So like that's more like stimulating the touch receptors there. So that is what I mean by stimulating the G spot. So it is there, but it is not everybody that their G spot can actually be stimulated. Now, for certain people with vaginismus, for people with vaginismus is like a situation where the vagina is kind of tightened whenever it comes to stimulating the vaginal canal or stimulating the vagina as a whole. In other words, people with vaginismus, um, they really find it hard having satisfactory sex. Why? Because certain touch that they are supposed to respond to on a very good day, they find it hard responding to this touch. That's number one. Therefore, for some other people with circumcised vagina, which is not supposed to be because that's a genital mutilation, but unfortunately they were circumcised. These people, they might also find it hard, responding to this stimulation, right? Now, I made a video on how people with circumcised vagina react to sex. These people, they don't enjoy sex, they endure sex. Why? Because during the period of sex, it's as if it's torture for them. Have you ever had a scar? I think I saw a scar on your now this is a scar. This is a scar. Now, to an extent, if you had this scar maybe here at your deltoid muscle, on a very good day, I can actually give you injection here.
Okay.
But if this scar is here, I can't give you this injection here.
Okay.
Why? Because already the tissue here is scarred tissue. And scarred tissue, they don't respond to every natural phenomenon or every natural touch or sensation or whatever you have to do there. So in other words, if you have this car here, there are things I cannot do here.
Okay.
I cannot administer injection here.
Okay.
And for some other people, depending on the kind of scar they had here, there are some touch they cannot even respond to the way they're supposed to respond to it.
Okay.
You understand? So that is that, like, when we talk about circumcised vagina, that is an explanation to that. So I believe you get, to an extent, you get what I
Okay.
mean.
I understand.
Yes.
But what about, like, let's say, like, what from what you say now, like, everybody must not be aroused or turned on from that G spot,
Yes.
right? So let's say you're not turned on the G spot. Can another part of your body actually turn you on apart from that G spot?
Of course, yes. I mean,
So was it maybe sort of like enduring sex because of the sex most what
circumcision.
because of
Women that
circumcision?
were
Yeah,
circumcised,
yeah.
yes.
So what if another part of the body actually does the work? Now it turns them on like the G spot would have done if.
Exactly. That is it. And that is the reason why many people just have to tune into channels like this.
Okay.
Why? Because many people think that sex talk, sex education is crazy. Like, don't go there, don't go there, don't do it. Ah, they're evil. They're actually, some channel like this is not evil, rather it's educational.
Okay.
And it just brings those topics that are in existence, those things that are in existence, and we begin to trash them, and we begin to talk about them, we begin to ask questions about them, and we begin to look into these things and give answers to it.
Okay.
So, like you said, yes, there are other ways, different ways that you can actually turn on a woman, make a woman aroused, make a woman reach orgasm, apart from the G spot or whatever you have to, the nipples are number one. The nipples, the clitoris, that's for people that their clitoris were not circumcised along with the circumcision procedure. The clitoris is there, whispering sweet words into the ears of the person. I think I also made a video on that, places you can actually be intimate
With the
with,
person.
yeah, on the person's body. You can
Okay.
just get intimate with this person, touching this person's body, or responding to this person in this way. Soft whispers into the ear, kissing the nape of the neck, you know, admiring and adoring the person's body just makes the person feel relaxed. For people with vaginismus, the person feels relaxed, and of course, the muscles of the vagina feels relaxed, so that you can easily have a penetrative sex with this person. But if you want to jump into penetrative sex, it doesn't work that way.
Then something people say, I heard many girls say it. It'd be like, there's nothing you can do that could turn me on. I don't easily get turned on.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
it something like that?
Yes, of course.
Girls that doesn't get turned on.
Well, the thing is, if this person says I don't get turned on at all, then we I think I'll have to categorize them as people that have issues or problems related to sexuality or sexual aspect of their lives. They need to see a doctor for that, right? But for people that say I hardly get turned on, like before you turn me on, it's so hard. You have to stress yourself. I think yes, there are people like that, and the only way to handle people like this, but of course, there are certain things that can actually lead to that, because someone don't grow up and then it's hard to turn me up. No, maybe certain things that the person have experienced. Probably the person was raped, or person had a bad experience with sexual activity and all that. So the person feels like sex is nothing. So when you try turning the person on, the person feels like was. You understand? So psychologically, the person have kind of closed this door to every sexual stimulation. So you have to just sit with the person, understand this person, and try taking another route to assessing the sexual, key to opening this person's feelings, this person's emotion, and of course everything about this person's sexual aspect. Let's put it that way.
Okay, let's say, as a lady, would you say is an ideal thing to do for a woman to actually tell the partner where turns her on?
Mhm.
Or just some women will just be like, find out for yourself.
Okay. Well, I think that is individual preferences.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I have a full say, to this question because many people have, what they feel is the right thing for them to do, and some other people are like, this is not the right thing to do, so let's just take this other route. I don't really have a say in that. But okay, if I am to say on a general note, it's not a must to practice it. But if I must say on a general note,
No, 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 right now you're the lady now. You see for yourself. What do you think about it?
okay, no need for that really. I'm just making a general statement here.
Okay.
If I'm to say, I would simply say that many people will say find out for yourself because they want a situation where sexual play is exploring, like explorative.
Mhm.
So they put you in that corner where you kind of walk with her to get to that point where you know get her most aroused and all that. So you have to bring her to a place where she is vulnerable enough to expose to you. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Understand.
So I think some people are like, it's an escapade, it's a journey. So why don't you find out for yourself? Right. Then for some other people, they feel like, let me just tell this one so we can just go straight to the point. While some other people they're like, let's corner and get to the point.
Like I say, as a nurse, let's say you nurses have these ideas about how human body works and what the human body needs
Yeah.
and what the body doesn't want,
Mhm.
right? So would you say you actually have? Would you say that there is benefits of sex in human body?
Ooh. Man, did you just ask that question?
Yeah,
Because damn, there are lots of benefits.
yeah.
Okay, there are lots of benefits, so I may not end up mentioning all,
That's one.
but I'll try as much as possible to mention the ones that I can. Now, number one is this. When we talk of sexual play, it brings about certain parts of the body working in synchrony. The circulatory system, your hormones, the endocrine system, your musculoskeletal system. When the man is thrusting, it's the musculoskeletal system, making some move, right? Making some movement. So in other words, we're gonna say that okay, sexual play helps, it's kind of exercise. In other words, it helps get the blood pumping, but you shouldn't just depend on it as but this is the only resort to exercise. This is the reason I do to exercise. No, not good.
So
Not
apart
good
from
at
that
all.
sexual play, there's other things you could do to actually give you the same result without
Yes,
muscles. Like apart from sex, there's something you could do.
of course. Go to the track and then you run. Pick race, run.
Okay, okay,
Oh my
okay.
God.
Let's say apart from the I mean, I know sex has some ups and downs. So what are the why would you be like it's sex before marriage? No, 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 no. Thing. Does he have anything it costs in your body? Maybe like you'll be having sex before marriage, so apart from the
Okay.
getting pregnancy, unwanted abortions, each of them. Is there anything like health wise? Because instead of having sex before you got married, this thing's going to happen to you, or like
Okay. Now that is a very broad question. In fact, I wish we are going live right now. Okay. Now the thing is, I'm going to speak in the medical line,
Mhm.
and afterwards, I'm just going to give a wrap up there. Now, coming to the medical line, The truth is, the things that I would say would be the problem is attempting sex before marriage. You must understand that some things that you don't really want to happen can happen, because most times sex is kind of simultaneous. Like, okay, you just started kissing, you didn't intend on taking it far, and suddenly you took it far. And you took it far, you didn't use condom because you are driven by the shape, and I mean, everything is just so giving. So I mean, well, who cares? Just jump on the bed with this guy, with this lady, and voila, guy has
It
HIV
happened.
AIDS. It happened. The guy has HIV AIDS, and the guy has yeast infection, has bacterial infection, has gonorrhea, has syphilis, and by the time you find out that, okay, this is what I'm facing right now, find out this person, the organs of this person is already
Damage.
damaged, and the person will have to, even if the person begins to treat it after finding out, you find out that there are a lot of damages already. Probably the person may end up giving birth to a child that is blind, a child, that has some disabilities, right? And for some other people, they may get pregnant and decide to give birth to this child, but because in the course of tangling or tangoing with this person, they never checked, okay, what is your health status, because most people that are doing friends with benefits, they don't check health status of this person. So they just do their friends with benefits. So at the end of the day, when this woman gives birth, find out that, oh, this I'm AS and this guy is AS and this baby is SS, and oh, we have to deal with this for the rest of our lives. You watch this child, you know, experiencing crisis, sickle cell crisis every now and then. It's not nice, if I am to say. And then the moral aspect, everybody, like I said earlier, individual preferences, but I think whatever is good, someone at the age of 18 should know already and should stick to it.
Okay. I have a lot of research, but good enough now.
No problem. Really?
Minor.
Is that all you've got?
Yeah,
Okay, I hope I satisfied your curiosity.
yeah, for now, for this part, yes, I'm really satisfied, and I hope to have these sections again. But
Okay.
after watching your videos, I always have some many questions to ask. Yeah, but I think I have to go back to watch some videos again, and then I'll come back again.
You want one new question, eh?
Questions, yeah.
No problem. I'm always here for you. Anytime, any day. I'm always ready. I really love you, coming around to ask questions. And of course, like you said, I wish to have this session with you again.
All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you very
for
much.
staying. Thank you for staying. And thanks to Mr. Emmanuel for.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, guys. See you guys in my next video. I love you.
Love you too.